afternoon. I'm from Tongji University. I want to cite a saying from Confucius. It is always good to have a friend coming from afar. In Confucius books, there is a great saying which says that harmony is good, but also we uphold differences. China advocates a harmonious world. We know that the United States develops a culture that features diversity. I want to know, what will your government do to build a diversified world with different cultures? What would you do to respect the different cultures and histories of other countries, and what kinds of cooperation we can conduct in the future?
This is an excellent point. The United States, one of our strengths is that we are a very diverse culture. We have people coming from all around the world. And so there's no one definition of what an American looks like. In my own family, I have a father who was from Kenya. I have a mother who was from Kansas in the Midwest of the United States. My sister is half Indonesian. She's married to a Chinese person from Canada. So when you see family gatherings in the Obama household, it looks like the United Nations. And that is a great strength of the United States, because it means that we learn from different cultures and different foods and different ideas, and that has made us a much more dynamic society. Now, what is also true is that each country in this interconnected world has its own culture and its own history and its own traditions. And I think it's very important for the United States not to assume that what is good for us is automatically good for somebody else. And we have to have some modesty about our attitudes towards other countries. I have to say, though, as I said in my opening remarks, that we do believe that there are certain fundamental principles that are common to all people, regardless of culture. So, for example, in the United Nations, we are very active in trying to make sure that children all around the world are treated with certain basic rights. That if children are being exploited, if there's forced labor for children, that despite the fact that that may have taken place in the past in many different countries, including the United States, that all countries of the world now should have developed to the point where we are treating children better than we did in the past. That's a universal value. I believe, for example, the same thing holds true when it comes to the treatment of women. I had a very interesting discussion with the mayor of Shanghai during lunch right before I came, and he informed me that in many professions now, here in China, there are actually more women enrolled in college than there are men, and that they are doing very well. I think that is an excellent indicator of progress, because it turns out that if you look at development around the world, one of the best indicators of whether or not a country does well is how well it educates its girls and how it treats its women. And countries that are tapping into the talents and the energy of women and giving them educations typically do better economically than countries that don't. So now, obviously, different cultures may have different attitudes about the relationship between men and women, but I think it is the view of the United States that it is important for us to affirm the rights of women all around the world. And if we see certain societies in which women are oppressed, or they are not getting opportunities, or there's violence towards women, we will speak out. Now, there may be some people who disagree with us, and we can have a dialogue about that, but we think it's important, nevertheless, to be true to our ideals and our values. And when we do so, though, we will always do so with the humility and understanding that we are not perfect, and that we still have much progress to make. If you talk to women in America, they will tell you that there are still men who have a lot of old-fashioned ideas about the role of women in society. And so, we don't claim that we have solved all these problems, but we do think that it's important for us to speak out on behalf of these universal ideals and these universal values. Okay? All right. We're going to take a question from the internet.
Hello, Mr. President. It's a great honor to be here and meet you in person.
Thank you.
My name is Zhang Xin. I'm from Shanghai International Studies University. I'll be reading a question selected on the internet to you. And this question is from somebody from Taiwan. In his question, he said, I come from Taiwan. Now I am doing business on the mainland. And due to improved cross-strait relations in recent years, my business in China is doing quite well. So when I heard the news that some people in America would like to propose continue selling arms and weapons to Taiwan, I began to get pretty worried. I worry that this may make our cross-strait relations suffer. So I would like to know if, Mr. President, are you supportive of improved cross-strait relations? And although this question is from a businessman, actually it's a question of keen concern to all of us young Chinese students. So we'd really like to know your position on this question. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I have been clear in the past that my administration fully supports a one China policy, as reflected in the 3 joint communiques that date back several decades in terms of our relations with Taiwan, as well as our relations with the People's Republic of China. We don't want to change that policy and that approach. I am very pleased with the reduction of tensions and the improvement in cross-strait relations. And it is my deep desire and hope that we will continue to see great improvement between Taiwan and the rest of the People's Republic in resolving many of these issues. One of the things that I think that the United States, in terms of its foreign policy and its policy with respect to China, is always seeking is ways that through dialogue and negotiations, problems can be solved. We always think that's the better course. And I think that economic ties and commercial ties that are taking place in this region are helping to lower a lot of the tensions that date back before you were born, or even before I was born. Now, there's some people who still look towards the past when it comes to these issues, as opposed to looking towards the future. I prefer to look towards the future. And as I said, I think the commercial ties that are taking place, there's something about when people think that they can do business and make money that makes them think very clearly and not worry as much about ideology. And I think that that's starting to happen in this region, and we are very supportive of that process. Okay? Let's see, it's a girl's turn now, right? Yes, right there. Yes. Hold on. Let's get whoops. I'm sorry, they took the mic back here. I'll call on you next.